Going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Sports Report podcast. This is episode number 6. I got my boys with me, Kid and Nick. Say what up.
What's up, y'all? What's going on, peoples?
All right, Nick.
What's up, everybody?
All right. Kid, we'll start out with football first. Let's see. Talk about the Buccaneers situation. Then I'm getting rid of McCown, and who do you think they will draft in the NFL draft this year?
The Bucs got the number 1 pick, correct?
Yeah.
All right, so the Bucs got the number 1 pick. Looking at mock drafts, I see Todd McShay has, Jameis Winston going number 1. I believe, I forgot his name. The other dude that do,
Mariota.
Huh?
Marcus Mariota.
No, I'm saying the other dude that does mock drafts. He on ESPN.
I thought you were talking about the other quarterback. Mel Kiper.
Mel Kiper, yeah. I believe he has Jameis Winston going number 1 as well. Actually, no, like some other guys got. I guess it's like a defensive end. That's like top. Like I guess that's number 1.
Yeah.
From the scouts, but me personally, I see them going with Jameis Winston because word out on Marcus Mariota is that he's a system quarterback, so they said he has to pretty much land with the perfect team for him to like really live up to his draft pick. Because if he goes to a team like Tampa, he may not be as good as he would be. Say like I heard the Eagles.
Yeah.
Him going to the Eagles or something like that, and Chip Kelly's offense, he'll be able to perform better. But I mean, I haven't really watched these two guys play. I've heard of Jameis Winston. He lost his first game. When he lost in that little national championship round. I mean playoffs. But
yep.
I heard I guess he's the better pocket passer. He has the better vision. The more he has more awareness and stuff like that. So, I can see them picking him. That'd be my pick.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I was sitting here thinking about the draft combine and everything, but yeah, what you're saying does make sense though.
Yeah, he hasn't been performing that well in the combine. But I don't think the combine is going to affect his stock anyway. So
I know Mariota's faster. We all saw that he ran Winston off the screen.
Oh yeah, he's fast. Yeah. We all know. Yeah, Mariota got the wheels. I mean, but
I just the Eagles after what pick did the Eagles have? Like somewhere in the teens, something like that.
They will have to trade up. The Eagles have. I see them at the 20th pick.
Oh, 20th. Hell no.
So,
well, they
will have to, unless Mariota really falls, they're gonna have to give up. I don't know what kind of piece they will move or who they willing to move. Maybe they move Nick Foles.
Yeah.
Maybe. To move up in the draft. Then again, it all depends on. You got the Tennessee Titans. They may or may not draft a quarterback. You got the Jaguars. I believe they sit on their quarterback for now. Oakland has Derek Carr. I believe Washington. They got RG3. The New York Jets. They might pick up Mariota. They could. They might have to make a move with the Jets. The Bears. They got the 7th pick. They pretty much locked in with Jay Cutler. Falcons, Giants, Rams, all pretty much got their quarterbacks. The Vikings, they might have to make, like I said, they might have to make some moves.
Honestly,
they will have to make some moves.
That might be a dark horse. The Rams might pick up a quarterback. You can't rely on Sam Bradford.
I heard they was the other guy they was going, but then again, I guess near the end of the season.
You're talking about the rookie.
Yeah, I guess at the end of the season they were switching up quarterbacks too, so they might go after a quarterback as well. So. The Eagles want to make some moves, man, because that Mariota can go as fast as the number 2 pick, especially with the Titans.
Yeah.
Depending on how they feel about their quarterback situation. So
they got Mettenberger, which Mettenberger, he said there's like an article, he was like he doesn't even care if they draft a quarterback, he'll still be the starter. I was like, he's from LSU, so I gotta agree with him.
Yeah.
Now let's go to the Browns. They just picked up Josh McCown. Why do you think they picked up another quarterback just to add it to the mix? Yeah.
Cause man, they don't. the Brown situation, I believe Brian Hoyer is a free agent.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask you. Do you believe that they'll just release him and not even care if he
I mean,
leaves?
if they brought in Josh McCown, he's been known. I mean, he's proven that he can do some things as a starter.
Yeah.
When he came in for Jay Cutler, he did pretty well. I guess when his time in Tampa, I guess he did pretty. I guess he did all right there as well. Brian Hoyer probably wasn't going to be returning anyway. The whole that whole thing with Johnny Manziel, if he doesn't rebound, coming off not even his season, not even his rookie season, because you can't really knock him because he didn't really have any like playing time like that to really show what he can do. He was supposed to be, I guess, being groomed for next season, but since they had a pretty good record and they was pretty much in the playoff hunt, they didn't want to mess up the flow of taking out Brian Hoyer. So I don't think the Browns they was going to do as good as they did, and so they had to keep Brian Hoyer in there. Now with this whole thing with Johnny Manziel going to rehab and stuff like that, mentally he might not be into it. I don't know. I heard he wanted to leave the Browns anyway, but Josh McCown, I mean. And I believe Josh Gordon is suspended for next season, ain't he?
He probably will be. I don't think they made a ruling on it yet, but
yeah, but he might be gone. So it might be another situation where, all right, you got, a quarterback still trying to prove himself. Do you go with, the future, or you go with, or you trying to win now? And if Johnny Manziel does well, or if he comes back strong, if he has a good preseason, I can see them going with him as a starter. And then Josh McCown will just be the backup just in case, everything doesn't work out. But I don't know. It's interesting, I guess. It's just another situation whereas you have Brian Hoyer and Johnny Manziel again. It's just the same thing all over again, in my opinion.
I don't even know. That'd be hard to. I guess you'd start Johnny, but then if he.
I mean, they should start Johnny.
If he doesn't perform the way he should, then they bring him McCown.
It's gonna come down to where they got to see if he's even worth being on the squad because Johnny Manziel is he has the caliber of a starter. I mean you got at least you brought him in there to eventually start for your team, not to back you up. So they're gonna have to put him out there eventually. But Johnny Manziel gonna have to earn it too, I guess. I mean he didn't have the best season last year either. Even with the snaps that he did have, he didn't have the best reps and stuff like that. So who knows what's gonna happen with the Browns? Defensively they're a decent team, I think, which is why. They were staying in a lot of the games that they did win, but offensively they're gonna have to get that. They're gonna have to get that handled.
All right, let's go to the Adrian Peterson situation. The judges ruled in his favor, and now he's allowed to return back with any team. He could leave Minnesota. He could go to Dallas. It don't matter. What do you think about that whole situation?
You say he got reinstated, right?
Yeah.
Well, AP ain't gonna stay in Minnesota. I can't see him staying in Minnesota.
Yeah, he already said he didn't want to.
He doesn't want to play for him. But the only thing with the whole AP situation is that he's under contract for 2 more years. That's the whole thing. So he will have to get traded, and then you gotta have somebody willing to trade for him. Now with this whole thing with Dallas. And they contract situation and, all the stuff that's going on with them, I don't even think they re-signed DeMarco Murray yet. So they might, if they set something up, they might re-sign DeMarco and trade him for AP, possibly. I can see that happening. But that'll be the only way he'll get up out of there. Seeing as he showed interest in playing for the Cowboys. So that's going to be interesting. I mean, he can come to Lambeau. Come over here. I'll take him.
AP in Green Bay.
Nah, but we got Lacy though, man. We all right. But yeah, that's the only way I can see that happen. It's gonna have to be with a trade, unless the Vikings just let him walk. But I can't see them letting him walk with nothing in return.
I just saw that he's under contract through 2017.
Yeah, so
15 mil. Yep.
Yeah, I can't see them letting him walk for nothing. They gonna get a deal off of him. They're gonna try to do something. So I don't know, that situation might be a little complicated.
You were talking about the Cowboys a little bit earlier. Have you heard anything on this death situation? You know anything about it?
Just came across that. Who hit me up? Patriot hit me up. He was telling me about it, and I mean, it's kind of crazy when you think about it because I guess it's something that happened 4 years ago, well, 3.5 years ago,
Yeah.
and now it's starting to come out now.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to stop anything, seeing as it happened, that long since it happened in 2011.
Yeah, there were no charges either, so there really wasn't.
It's really,
I don't know what they could do.
all of it right now is just really, it's irrelevant to the negotiations, but they're gonna try to do it because they really don't want to pay him the amount of money that he wants to go for. So they're gonna try to use any excuse as to why not to pay him. But if Dez is willing to walk, see the problem with Dez is he shows so much interest in staying in Dallas that Dallas feels like they have control of the situation. Dez is gonna have to be willing to leave if he want to get his money, but he might not be able to go to a team. He may not be able to go to a team that might be successful that has money. I think the Jets has like probably the most cap space. They could make an offer for him, but he might not like it in New York, or at least with the Jets. I don't know no other teams that have high cap space, but Dallas is probably his best bet for right now, and they're gonna use that against him, especially with him changing agents and everything like that. It was an issue during the regular season where he went from his agent to Rock Nation, and that was an issue with Jerry Jones. And then now all of this stuff starting to come out, which is going to cause negotiation, problems as well. So, Dez, if he wants to get paid, he might have to leave Dallas.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, they were talking about franchise tagging him and everything like that. That's a big name to franchise tag, though. I don't think Dez would be happy with that.
I forgot how the franchise tags work, but I know you don't get. I know you don't get the money that you want.
He gets like 1 year and like 13 mil, something like that.
Coach Herm Edwards is like, man, you just take that 2 years.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
On first take, yeah, you take that. You take those couple years. You play your heart out, and then you get paid again. I mean, I guess that's
talking
what
about
Reeves did.
Yep, talking about what Reeves did.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to this veteran combine. Apparently got Vince Young trying to make a return playing quarterback, trying to do something at this combine. And I don't know how the hell why do you have Michael Sam at a veteran combine? Dude's not a veteran. He didn't even play one NFL game. He went to a couple practice squads.
Sad thing about Michael Sam is he would have been still in the league if he didn't come out and said what he said, man. I mean, unfortunately, that's what it came down to. But he ain't. I mean, if he didn't get picked up last season, ain't nothing he can do this year that's gonna make somebody pick him up. I mean, it's unfortunate. He shouldn't. Honestly, he should have kept that to himself. Honestly, I didn't really see the purpose of coming out. I mean, yeah, you might be put on blast for like maybe a year. Maybe at that. I mean, then again, he pretty much died down, but I guess he's supposed to be on Dance with the Stars, supposedly. So I don't know how he pulled that one, but I mean, he's just gonna be in the scene for like maybe a year or two, and then that's it, man. You done messed up all your money coming in, trying to prove something. Man, I ain't gonna say anything, but I'd have kept that to myself.
I don't even know.
Huh?
I don't know who else is in there. Like Vince Young and Michael Sam were the only two names I heard.
I mean, I guess it's for guys that wants to come back and I guess trying to prove themselves again. I won't be surprised if Chad Johnson or T.O. go. Well, I think T.O. moved on. I think T.O. let it go. Chad Johnson might pop up in there. He might do it.
Maybe.
He might show up. But Vince Young, I don't know. I mean, personally, I don't see why he's not picked up, especially if he wanted to take unless he just feels like he has to be a starter, because we had him up in Lambeau. We had him, I believe he was on our squad. Yeah, he was on our squad going into the preseason. He was on there, and I think he got cut eventually. But I mean, if he willing to take that backup role, it shouldn't be no problem. I don't see why he's not signed. He wasn't that bad. He wasn't like Tim Tebow or somewhere. If you sign him, you're going to have all this media, coverage. I can see why people not touching Tebow. I'm surprised he's not going after that combine. But then again, that might be a name that might get dropped eventually. When is that supposed to be starting up?
I haven't found anything on it yet. I was looking for that. They don't say anything about it. I'm assuming it'll be either the end of this month in like a couple of days or next month.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, this is their first time doing it, so um, I don't know. It should be interesting. We'll see if somebody gets picked up from it. Only
Yeah.
person I can see possibly getting picked up or even get looked at, maybe Vince Young, depending on how bad somebody really needs a quarterback. Because like I said, I feel like he could be a decent backup. I mean, but even as a starter, he wasn't that bad. I mean, he had a winning record as a starter.
Yeah, he did. I don't know. What team would he go to though? Like, I can't find like a fit. Hmm.
Well, any team with a quarterback that need a quarterback. I mean, he could be a backup to, like I said, a lot
He
of teams. He could
could,
be a backup
you
to
know
like
what?
St. Louis, to
He
the
could
Rams,
he could go to Buffalo.
Oakland, yeah, Buffalo, the
Yeah.
Jaguars,
Yeah.
Cleveland. Shit, a lot of them teams that need a quarterback. Honestly,
All right. I think that might have been it. Oh no. The Cardinals they released Darnell Dockett after 11 years of playing for that organization. Also, the Falcons released Steven Jackson. Do you have any thoughts about those?
um, I don't know about Dockett that well. I think he's been in the league for about 11, 12 years or something like that.
Yeah.
I guess that's reasonable.
Played all his years at the Cardinals, Arizona.
I mean, yeah, he's had his run. Um, yeah, he's had his run. I mean, I don't know how old he is. Oh, I guess he's 33 years old as a defensive tackle. I mean, 11 years at defensive tackle, that's a long time. I mean, I can see why they did it. As for Steven Jackson, man, that was coming regardless because, Steven Jackson ain't really been the same for a while. I think he had injury problems last year. Ever since he went to the Falcons, he had issue. Well, he didn't live up to his expectations. I thought he was gonna go to the Falcons. I thought he was gonna possibly be their missing piece. I believe he went there maybe a year or two after they had their nice little run. I believe they had a good home record and everything. They really just needed a running back to complement Julio Jones and Roddy White. So, and then he went there and he didn't really do anything. So I was real shocked that didn't work out. Especially the year I believe he was even there when they had Tony Gonzalez still with the squad, and they didn't do nothing with him. So, um, that was coming.
Um,
Steven Jackson might not even get picked up, honestly.
I don't know if he was there with Tony. He might have been the year right
Or
after
maybe,
Tony
or maybe he was
retired.
there after Tony left.
Yeah.
How long Tony been gone?
Shit. I want to say like 2012.
I was gonna say because Steven Jackson been there for a couple years, so I don't know.
Yeah, he might have got there the year that Gonzalez left. But I think that was the last NFL topic. Unless you want to talk about this Julius and Demarius Thomas situation again.
What's the status on them two?
Apparently they're letting Julius walk. He can go touch free agency. I don't know about Demarius, but I think Julius's top interests were Oakland and then the Jaguars. Surprisingly, guess he just wants that money.
See, I was gonna say he probably want to get paid now. That might be his whole thing. He probably just trying to get his money. As for Demaryius, I think they was gonna keep Demaryius.
Yeah.
But even with the Packers and Randall Cobb, I mean, well, I heard they trying to work a deal out with him. They cleared some cap for him. So I think we're gonna get back Randall Cobb. But like I said, with the emergence of Adams, him coming in, him coming up, big in the stretch of the season, they might feel like they can replace Randall Cobb, but you can't really replace a slot, receiver that can do pretty much everything on offense. He can play the backfield. He can return. He can do all types of stuff. So I think they're gonna bring him back though.
All right, I think that's about it for football. Move on to the NBA. Let Nick shine a little bit.
Pass the rock.
I guess we can talk about Kobe retiring next season first. You can give your thoughts about that.
What's going on with Kobe?
Austin.
Retiring next season.
I mean, I guess he said he wasn't. On that interview show, that late night show, I think with Jimmy Kimmel or something, whatever his name is. I guess he addressed it that wasn't necessarily what he was implying. I think he said
No,
he got about.
he said he's done after this next season.
Oh, he actually came out and said that.
Yeah.
Oh, then shit, I ain't gonna care. Shit, I don't watch him. Don't watch. Dang, shit, I ain't gonna miss him. I mean, I don't mean that disrespectfully, but I just don't. I never really watched Kobe like that, so it's not gonna really affect me. And I see like if D Wade retired or something, then that might hit me a little bit, you know, because that was my boy. I go out my way to watch a Wade game back in the day, but Kobe leave, it wouldn't even faze me. Honestly, I honestly wouldn't even notice it.
I mean, yeah, they're gonna. I could agree with that. They're gonna lose with or without Kobe. So.
Yeah. Kobe got to lead the Lakers. Why being said? If he wanna win, he gonna have to lead the Lakers. There's too much going on with the Lakers right now. I was watching that game last night with the Lakers against the Bucks, and there was just so many random players on that team. It's crazy, man.
You can't even name their whole starting five.
They ain't got no picks. They ain't got nothing. I see what Boston. At least Boston got some picks. Boston got like 16 first round whatever picks in like the next couple years or something like that. I don't know how they pulled that off, but the Lakers ain't got no picks. They ain't got no players. Now unless Julius Randle just explodes next season.
The only thing they're gonna have after Kobe leaves is money. That's it.
Yeah, that all-star attraction is gonna be gone.
That's the thing, you know. They gonna have to find a star. They gonna have to find somebody. I mean, but they got the cap space to do it. They just not signing nobody, unless they get Russell. They get Russell, then
we're not gonna talk about that.
That'd be a downgrade. If anything, Russell better off staying with the Thunder than going to the Lakers.
Only reason why I say the Lakers, that's where he from.
Right.
So you get Russell, you get Kevin Love, then UCLA connect.
Man, you know Westbrook ain't passing the ball to Kevin Love.
I'm just saying. That'll be what's up. I'll watch some Laker games.
I wouldn't. Westbrook, I liked him, but he can't do it on himself.
Who can't do it by himself?
Westbrook.
Well, Westbrook been doing it by himself ever since he got there.
Oh my God. I'm not gonna act like Kevin Durant's not a factor in the team.
I don't know. We're gonna find out what Westbrook made of. You know, KD might be out for the season. He might sit that because they said, you know, this whole foot injury thing ain't nothing to play with. And it was like, you know, you might not have to come back this season. It might just be best for y'all to sit. I mean, just for you to rest this season out. And because that foot, like I said, that foot injury is tricky. Y'all seen what happened to Yao. Yao, his career was cut short because of them foot injuries.
Mm.
So he might have to sit the whole season. I don't know. Knowing KD, he'll probably return again, but he's had about what 2-3 surgeries this season.
Yeah, probably 3.
So yeah, it might not be best for him to come back this season, especially with y'all, you know, barely, you know, getting into the playoffs.
I said it before. I'll say it again. We get past the first round. We're going to the finals. That is the Western Conference Finals in the first round.
OKC on a 2-game losing streak right now. Russell Westbrook. They said, I just came off ESPN. They said his return date is unknown, so he's out.
Yeah, he fractured. The crazy thing is about this is, who is it? Robertson? Andre Robertson. He kneed Westbrook in the side of his head because I was watching the game, and now he has a fracture in his right cheek. So
he might be out for a minute.
You can see, if I'm looking at this picture right now, it has a whole indent on his the side of right below his temple. There's just a big dark spot right there. It's just indented in his.
Damn, and then y'all know y'all gonna lose a couple games, so y'all gonna drop back under that AC.
Then y'all got New Orleans coming at y'all. Y'all got Phoenix. The only thing I really worry about is Phoenix and New Orleans. New Orleans might choke though, cause I think Anthony Davis is he playing right now?
No.
So
he has a shoulder injury. He's out 2 weeks.
New Orleans might fall out of it, but Phoenix might come back. They're a game behind OKC, and if Westbrook is out, KD is out, Reggie Jackson out, Kendrick Perkins is out.
Man, Perkins didn't do shit. Everybody knows that. Man is the most overpaid player in the NBA.
Well, I don't know what OKC gonna do. I don't know. Scott Brooks gonna have to show some coaching because they already know what they say.
Rings.
You be relying on the superstars a little too much. Yeah. I don't know. Scott Brooks might be coaching for his job if he don't make it to the playoffs, even without those two. I mean, it's a lot of games left though. It's about 30 games left. 30-some, 20-some games left. So they can't afford to lose no more games though, especially in the West. They're gonna have to stay on that.
All right, Nick, we'll go straight to your team, the Chicago Bulls. Derrick Rose. What's your take on his whole meniscus trimming and him? He's actually starting rehab right now.
Well, yeah. I mean, that boy. I feel he's going through what a lot of players went through. He's going through what people like D-Wade went through.
Nah.
Greg Oden.
D-Wade was somebody who relied too much on his athleticism and his speed.
Nah. You know what? No, hold on, timeout.
You didn't say that.
You can't say that with Wade because that just started happening.
What?
D Rose how old is D Rose?
Like 26 or something. No, yeah.
When Wade was 26, he was still healthy. He didn't have his first major injury until he had that shoulder injury, which was after they won the finals. But that was after his third. That was his fourth year in the league when he had that surgery. But after that, his knee problem was fine. It didn't start getting bad until LeBron got there, until like around 2011.
He was already getting bad before LeBron got there.
It wasn't as bad as it is now.
That's because he could what's it called? He could restrain it a little bit more, but he was already going downhill. He was still dropping 30, but you can tell he went
going downhill when?
Huh?
What?
The year he averaged 30. You
say he went downhill after that?
He was going downhill before that.
I said before that. That was probably from the shoulder injury. That wasn't from the knees.
Hey, I got a question for y'all. If D Rose is healthy, do you think the Heat would have made it to those consecutive finals?
Yes.
Well, maybe. Who knows? Because the first time
they was the same team.
Yeah, because the
Bulls was the same team that the Heat beat the first year, and then the second time it was pretty much the same team. The third time it was pretty much the same team.
I don't think Jimmy Butler was there yet.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler just started getting good.
So I mean, it'd be a different story because especially with this D-Wade now, I don't think he can hold Jimmy Butler.
D-Wade can't hold Doug McDermott.
What?
Y'all serious right now? Y'all serious right now?
All I'm saying is that he's going through the same thing a lot of players like him and D-Wade.
I wouldn't say D-Wade. I would say like Brandon Roy.
He's what? Brandon Roy was never an MVP caliber player.
Brandon Roy was good,
but he wasn't MVP caliber. I'm talking about MVP level players.
D-Wade, hold on. Let me look at Brandon Roy's stats. Brandon Roy was a beast.
He won MVP.
He could have. He could have been. Matter of fact, I think it was times when he was in the discussion, not like top 3 or anything like that, but Brandon Roy.
Look it
up. A beast.
Look it up.
I'm about to look at that right now. Brandon Roy. Let's see. Let's look at the stats, shall we? All right. 08, 09. I'm trying to think when did he start going down. He started going down, I think 010, 11 because his numbers was down. 08, 09. B. Roy averages about 23, 5 and 5.
All right.
Played 78 games. He was shooting 48% from the field.
Okay.
As a 2 guard.
Okay.
That was probably his best year.
MVP though.
Let me see. 08, 09? Oh, of course not. No, not that year because I believe 08, 09, that was Wade LeBron. Yeah, but he was going against Wade LeBron.
That's okay. So he's
D
on.
Rose went against Wade and LeBron.
No, D Rose won because he had a better record. LeBron could have won that year.
I mean,
LeBron
he still
coulda got MVP that year.
went up against LeBron though.
Because the Bulls had the better record. The Bulls had I forgot what their record was, but that year they probably had maybe 5 games on the Heat.
D Rose was also in the running for most improved player though. That was like a breakout year.
Let me see. I'm gonna look at his stats. I'm gonna look at D Rose stats that year. He won MVP.
He averaged 25 points a game. I know that for a fact.
Let me see. 2011. He averaged 25, 7 and 5. No, 7 and 4, or 8 and 4.
There you
That's
go.
the year he won MVP.
There you go.
Now I'm gonna look at LeBron. Look at LeBron. I think even Wade had some numbers around that range. Let me go check. I'm about to go check this. Cause Wade, his first year that LeBron was there, that Wade was balling that year too.
Yeah, well,
He was balling that first year. Yep, 2011. Wade had 25, 7 and 5, and that was with LeBron on the team. I'm just saying. I'm saying Rose had the same stats as Wade.
All I'm saying is that D Wade and Rose are the same type of players that would rely on their athleticism early on in their careers.
D Wade lasted longer.
You've been watching D Wade for a long time. You know doggone well in the 06 season he was flying through the air using his speed to blah blah.
Hold on. 06. Oh yeah, 06. It was 06. It was 07. He didn't start going down until after LeBron got there. That's what I'm trying to tell you. 11 and 12.
He was already going downhill.
But it wasn't from these. It was from a shoulder injury that he suffered. In 07. And then he went to go rehab it.
But that can still restrict your speed.
Not a shoulder.
It can restrict your movements though. He ain't gonna move a certain way.
Wade was Flash. Wade was still Flash.
What?
Wade was still Flash.
So you saying 30 point a game D Wade was the same as 06 D Wade?
He averaged 30 a game.
No, but I'm saying play style wise. Was he playing? Was he getting those points?
Wade was still going to the basket. Wade was still averaging about 10 free throws a game.
But was he flying through the air, dunking on people, and then falling down?
He was still attacking. He was still attacking.
Man, the only dunking highlight really that year is when he dunked on Verjao.
But you saying slow? What do you mean by slowing down?
I mean, he wasn't playing the exact way. He wasn't flying through the air through everyone. He wasn't doing circus shots.
Wade in 09 could still attack the basket, but he had a jumper shot. He was developing a mid-range game around that time.
Wade does not have a jump shot.
He has a mid-range game.
You want to know why he got a mid-range game?
D Wade has a mid-range. He developed. Matter of fact,
he had to.
You had
to develop a mid-range game.
Down.
But he was still. But D Wade was still. What you talking? D Wade was still dunking on people.
What?
In 09. That's when he dunked on Verjao.
I just said that.
Matter of fact, even that year he was getting blocks. And he was blocking center shots. He was still getting up there.
Block centers, man.
Huh?
Nate about that.
Nate Robertson has blocked.
He blocked Brook Lopez shot. D Wade was balling that year.
I ain't saying he wasn't balling. Of course he was balling.
He didn't start slowing. His game didn't slow down. You may change your game up. Don't mean you slow down. His game slowed down the year.
There's a reason why.
The first year, but that wasn't until 12-13, the year after they went to the finals to the Mavericks.
Started slowing down 2 years ago.
Yes, that's when his knee injuries got the best of him. Yes. It might have been 3 years ago. It was the year after they went to the finals with LeBron. That was probably the best of Wade you probably would have seen. And then 2011, 2012 was when Wade pretty much that's when he fell back. In fact, Wade only played 49 games. He only played 49 games that year. That's when you really knew Wade fell back that year. The first year that LeBron was there, he played 76 games. The year before that, before LeBron got there, he played 77. The year before that, he played 79.
But you're saying '06 D Wade was the same person when he dropped 30 an entire season. You're saying those two people were the same player.
D-Wade was a better player than the '06 Wade. In '09 when he had the MVP run. Because D-Wade did everything that year. In '06, D-Wade was just scoring and stuff. In '09, he was playing defense and he was scoring.
But
He
you're
couldn't stop
saying,
Wade.
but I'm saying, are you saying that's the same player that's relying on their athleticism and speed?
In '09, yes.
What?
Yes, D-Wade was only what? In '09, D-Wade was probably what? How old is Wade now? Wade 33 now? In '09, about 6 years ago, D-Wade was only what, 27?
Oh,
He still had it at 27.
man. So you're saying D Wade nothing. So you're saying all of his moves, his athleticism, and everything didn't start going downhill until 3 years ago.
It didn't start going downhill until about 3 years ago. That's when he
All
went.
right. Let's
You know what? The point is,
let's go ahead and move on.
No, we're about to finish up.
The whole point is, D Rose is one of those type of players that relied on their athleticism and speed to get by their opponents. Also adding to hint why D Wade was called the Flash, because he would blow by and use his speed and athleticism against.
I can see where the comparison is coming from, but I wouldn't compare him to D Wade necessarily because D Wade lasted longer.
Okay.
It lasted longer.
Okay.
D Wade lasted about 8 years playing that style. Rose only lasted what, 5 years? I don't know how long Rose been in the league, but
the point is,
in what, 5-6 years?
Point is, Rose has to change up his game
He gonna have to change up his game. Yeah, you're right.
and start relying on his athleticism and speed like many players do.
Do you think Chicago would get rid of him, though?
You said what, Will?
You think Chicago would get rid of him?
Nah, they ain't gonna get rid of him. Who they gonna replace him with?
I don't know.
I heard they Robinson gonna go back.
rid of him.
Somebody that's healthy.
They might ask him to reconstruct his contract so they can use some more, so they can get some more cap space. But other than that, I don't know. Somebody might not pick up with it on Rose. I mean, what you gonna get for him? You ain't gonna get no Kyrie for him. You gonna get Westbrook for him. I don't know. It wouldn't be what they wanted unless they wanted to rebuild or clear cap space. But other than that, you ain't gonna get nothing for D. Ain't nobody gonna touch that.
I heard Nate Robinson said he wants to go back to the Bulls too.
I mean, he was playing good with them.
Yeah, he did his thing.
You want to talk about Anthony Mason now? He just passed away today. 48 years old of heart failure. You know, got anything to say about him?
It's unfortunate. I just say R.I.P. to him, and prayers up to his family. That's all I can say.
All right. What else is there? Paul George returning to full practice. I think he did that yesterday. I think he's eyeing mid-March, maybe early March return. I think. I wonder. Hold up. What are the Pacers at? I wonder if they could get in the playoffs. Oh, they're in the playoffs right now.
They're the AC right now.
24 and 34, and you're in the playoffs. What? 24 and 34, and the Pacers are in the 8th seed. Miami is 25 and 32, and they're in the 7th seed. Oh my God! This just shows you how weak the Eastern Conference is. If you had that record in the West, you wouldn't even be in the conversation of playoffs. God dang. Well, I wonder if Indiana could actually do something then. Because they'll be in the playoffs when Paul George comes back, no doubt.
Everybody know Playoffs don't mean. I mean, not the playoffs. Regular season don't really mean nothing when it comes to playoffs. Not in the East. Anybody can get took. Now.
But 24 and 34, and you're in the playoffs, though? This. Oh, my God.
Hey, it is what it is.
That's crazy.
The West needs to beat the East more often.
Hold up. The West beats the East more than the East beats the West.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see. What else is there? I don't think Paul George make an impact coming back.
Nope.
Not a
Paul
single
George.
impact.
Yeah, he should. He's been off sitting this year. Well, I can see why he came back. I guess they fighting for a playoff spot, but I don't know, man. I ain't never really believed in Paul George like that.
Paul George.
I never really believed him like that, so I don't. Paul George still got to prove something. He still got to prove stuff to me. They could never beat the big brother. Now the big brother then left the house. What they gonna prove now? They can't prove nothing to me until he beat LeBron. I don't know.
Do you have
speak? I mean, kids, speak.
I don't know. I just never. Paul George ain't really did nothing yet.
I mean,
he just dunked on his.
I mean, he have a couple good games, but he ain't took that next step yet.
Hey, watch out for Paul George.
He said, "Watch out for Paul George."
Paul George.
Elaborate to us, Will. What Paul George gonna do?
Watch out for Paul George. It's no longer PG-24. It's time to become PG-13. All right.
Yeah, move on. Paul George.
You watch the Heat every now and then. You think Michael Beasley was a good return for a 10-day contract?
Yeah, I don't know what Michael Beasley doing. I thought he was in China playing basketball. That's the last thing I heard of Mike Beasley. He was in China. He supposed to been playing for the Grizzlies, I believe. I don't know. Mike Beasley could have been a good player. Mike Beasley could have been KD before KD.
Whoa.
Could have. When they both came into the league, I think KD came a year before him, but Beasley was down. He was basically the same player as KD, except he had more. He was a bigger player, so he could have did what KD did. I think if he was on the right team, if his head was right, he could have been possibly up there with KD because Beasley can shoot and he could drive. He had a post game and everything. KD still ain't got no post game.
Nope. Preach.
I mean, he got a.
His head just went into the game no more. He got paid, he just went into it no more. But if Beasley had KD's, mentality, I think Beasley would have been up there right now. If he was with the right team. He didn't want to come to Miami. That whole thing, when that whole draft was going on, I didn't think the Bulls was gonna take D Rose because I was like, all right, they already got Hiring, they got Ben Gordon. They had plenty guards over there at the time. So I'm like, oh, they gonna pick another guard. They gonna get Beasley. Rose gonna come to Miami. And Beasley gonna be straight. I mean, I thought Beasley would have balled out if he was in Chicago.
Yeah.
I think he would have balled out in Chicago.
I thought Rip Hamilton just retired. I thought he retired like 2 years ago.
Who, Rip Hamilton?
Yeah, he just announced his retirement.
That's random.
Rip Hamilton. Yeah, I haven't heard about him in 2-3 years. Just now announced his retirement.
I think the last team he was on was the Bulls, wasn't he?
I think so.
He did play with the Bulls for a bit.
I think that was the last team.
He might have been on one just random team for like a couple of games, but his last notable team was the Bulls.
Well, yeah, Beasley. I don't know if it's gonna work out though. I don't know. I guess they might sign him for the remainder of the season. I mean, obviously they got a soft spot for him. They ain't re-signed him about 3 times now.
That's true.
I think his whole knock against him that last year that he was in there. I think last year he was with the squad. I think his whole knock was he didn't play defense. So that's why he never got no clock. Because people was wondering, like, damn, why you ain't got Beasley in the game? I feel like that squad last year could have won it all. They just went into it.
All right. We're later into the season now. Let's get some. I'm not gonna say finals predictions, but conference finals predictions
Conference finals for which
for both.
conference finals for the East. Cleveland are destroying everyone. No one can stop them. It's crazy because but it's the same thing that happened with Miami. You know, they didn't start off. You know, they weren't clicking at first, but then once they got together, they was going through everybody there. So Cleveland, and then if Rose can be healthy, it could be them. But I know they're not going to win because still to this day, there's no true answer for LeBron but what the Spurs have done. And if you got a team that can play like the Spurs, you can stop LeBron. And then
I don't even think they stopped LeBron. They just no one else could do anything.
Yeah,
so,
they stopped their whole team, and then plus, Patty Mills and them, they just ate Mario Chalmers alive.
yeah, they were just balling that year. That was their year.
Yeah,
Like,
but still, there's no answer for that. And then we all know the person who can definitely stop Rose from doing anything is LeBron. Then you gotta you gotta get somebody to stop Kyrie. Then you got J.R. Smith playing his best season ever since his Sixth Man of the Year award campaign. Then you got Iman Shumpert doing it's crazy. They got a whole unit over there. And then for the West, these Warriors, they not tripping, but the West is a different animal because everybody in the West can make it to the conference playoffs. So I'm neutral on that one. Even your Thunder, if they get the right thing, they probably get there. Who knows?
okay, seeing the playoffs, but
Oh, playoffs.
let me see the East. I don't know. I'm gonna try to switch it up. I'm gonna go with I can't see. Depending on who Cleveland match up with, I think they might fall on their face, man. Because everybody got to remember, Kyrie, K-Love, half that squad over there. Well, I guess never mind, not half the squad no more, but
Haven't been in the playoffs.
all some guys they ain't been in the playoffs.
Yep.
Oh, I don't even know how they even gonna play in the playoffs. Number one. Number two, it's gonna depend on who they match up against. Now, if Cleveland match up against Washington, I got Washington winning that series. If Cleveland matches up, say with I'm trying to look at their season. I'm trying to see where they could potentially be at the end of the season.
Milwaukee. They could play Milwaukee.
They could. They might match. You know, if they want to be against Milwaukee, I can see them beating us. Let me see. If Cleveland matches up against Toronto, I don't know how it would happen, but Toronto, I can see them beating them. But like, if they match up against, say, like Chicago, depending on what D Rose do, I don't know. But if they match up with Washington, I can see Washington beating them. Number one, I think Washington's probably the best squad in the East.
I could agree with that. Just because Paul Pierce knows how to get into LeBron's head.
Paul Pierce knows LeBron. You know, Kyrie can match up with John Wall.
Nene's a scrapper.
Yeah, Nene, Gortat. Gonna neutralize K-Love because I don't think K-Love is a physical ball player like that. So they're gonna take them out the game. Bill might be the X factor in that series unless Cleveland bench gets off and go like JR and Shumpert. If they both can get off, then they can possibly do some things. But that'll probably be their best matchup is the Wizards. Maybe Atlanta. But I got Washington and Atlanta in these conference finals. That's my pick. But as for the West, I got Memphis. I got Memphis and San Antonio again. But that depends on seeding though. San Antonio ain't looking too hot right now, but they know the.
Well, if they would play each other right now in the first round, if it started today.
Yeah, that's the thing. For the West, it depends on seedings, honestly. But I got Memphis getting there. I don't know who they're gonna face though. That's the only thing.
I'm gonna switch it up, Denalia. I got Milwaukee and Toronto in the East.
Okay.
Hey,
Any reasons?
You got
hey,
Milwaukee.
hey, if D Rose isn't healthy in the playoffs,
You got
they
Milwaukee.
if they play each other, if Chicago and Milwaukee play each other and D Rose isn't healthy,
You know what? Yeah, you know what? Milwaukee could, 'cause they had stretches where they just be balling. I don't know. Milwaukee they could be an X factor too. I would have said Milwaukee with more heart if Jabari was still playing. That's the only thing. Jabari ain't playing. If Jabari was playing, then I would have went with Milwaukee. I could say Milwaukee could potentially get there. If they don't get there this year, they gonna make some noise in a year or two.
and then in the West, I can't give up on the Thunder. Can't do it. Thunder,
I can't give up on the Thunder.
the Thunder and the Mavericks will meet in the Western Conference Finals.
Mavs.
Well, they
Hey,
gotta make it to the playoffs first.
Elaborate.
first off, Rondo, Amari, Parsons. All three of those new pickups, and then Tyson Chandler returning
Dang,
from the old
Dallas
squad.
they not doing nothing.
Hey,
Dallas ain't doing nothing. Dallas, listen,
hey,
first off, they backcourt is too small. They're too
Hey.
small. Rondo can't shoot. Amari is a question mark.
Rondo averaging 8 points.
Rondo can't. In the West, you got all them guards out there locking Rondo up. Rondo ain't the most athletic guard. His best matchup probably be against Conley. Everybody else,
Preach.
oh yeah, and everybody else, maybe Tony Parker. He probably be able to do his thing, but I can't see Dallas beating. Then I could see Dallas beating San Antonio, but they might not even match. They might not even be in the same. They might not even match up.
Dallas is messing up with Portland right now.
Nah, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, it's a two-man show in Portland though. Like they don't. I feel like it's easy to stop Portland. That's just me.
Portland and San Antonio probably be their best matchups.
But I don't think Memphis could beat San Antonio in the first round. I really don't. Because playoff time, with that coach, all that experience,
I don't know. I don't know.
Memphis won't beat San Antonio in the first round.
Man, I don't know. Is Kawhi Leonard back?
Yeah, I think he is.
I mean, what is he doing? Is he doing anything or no?
He's not making noise, but I mean, just like you said, regular season doesn't really matter.
Yeah. See, that's the thing with the Spurs. I don't know with the Spurs. I mean, I picked them, but I mean, I don't know. You know, they question marks.
I can't believe in Memphis. I don't think they're legit.
I mean, the last few years though, they've been improving in the season. I mean,
They have, but
they got all the way to the Western Conference Finals last year. They might. I don't know. They got the pieces to do it.
they do. Adding Jeff Green and Courtney Lee.
Yeah, I mean, they got the pieces.
But I mean, you can't just count out San Antonio in the first round though.
But that's the thing is, son. See, yeah, that's why I picked San Antonio and Memphis. That'd be my matchup in Western Conference Final. One of those two teams is gonna be in the Western Conference Final. I don't know which one though. One of them teams is gonna be in it though.
Now, if the Warriors beat us, hey,
Who's us?
OKC Thunder.
They ain't gonna make it. They not going. Man, OKC is man.
We lost our last two games. Pelicans won 4 in a row. We're still a game above Pelicans.
They haven't been healthy. I can't see them being healthy. Even if they got to the playoffs, I can't see them being. I don't know. They having so many injuries this season. They added so many pieces. I mean, KD's on and off. Westbrook hurt again.
There you preach, man. There you keep speaking.
I just don't know.
Hey,
I don't know. They on a 2-game losing streak right now. Who they? Let me see. Let me look at their schedule. Let me see who they going up against.
got you.
Let's see. They got the Lakers. They should be able to win that game.
If they don't beat the Lakers, I'm quitting.
They got 76ers.
Hey,
they should be able to win that game.
If OKC doesn't beat the Los Angeles Lakers, we're not having a podcast the week they lose to them.
They play them tomorrow, so.
Hey, we may not have a podcast next Saturday, depending if the Lakers beat the Thunder. Because I ain't coming on here getting clowned.
You're going to get clowned. But you know what? They got a decent schedule coming up until about.
The Lakers, the 76ers. Those are two pretty easy W's.
Those would be back-to-back wins. But that's if Westbrook plays. See, he doesn't have a timetable.
Need Westbrook for those games.
What? Sure, yeah, I needed him when the season was starting off.
Chicago. Then Westbrook will probably be back around, what's that, March 11th versus the Clippers? He'll probably be back by then.
Possibly.
We can get to the playoffs. It ain't nothing. We don't even have really like an outstanding team that we have to face for the rest of the season.
I mean, yeah, y'all got. I mean, looking at the schedule, y'all have a light schedule.
Our toughest opponent would probably be either Memphis or Houston.
But that's if Westbrook. That depends on when Westbrook come back, and that depends on if KD comes back at all.
You know the Spurs. I mean, they'll probably sit out their whole starting five when they play us. So I don't see them winning that game. Yeah, we can. Let me switch over to the New Orleans schedule. Good they have, because it's either them or Phoenix that's trying to compete with us right now. Pelicans have to play the Nuggets, the Mavericks. Those are their next two games.
I can see Pelicans falling out of it. I think Phoenix is going to be probably y'all. It's probably going to come down to Phoenix and OKC near maybe the last week of the season.
They got to play Memphis. They're not winning that game. If Davis isn't back, they're not beating Milwaukee. They're not going to beat Golden State. They're not beating the Clippers. They're not beating Houston. They're probably not going to beat Portland. They're not beating Golden State again. They're not beating Memphis. They're not beating Houston. And they're not beating San Antonio. So, yeah, New Orleans is done. Well, we got that spot locked up unless Phoenix tries to come and take it away from us.
That's our biggest threat is Phoenix.
What does Phoenix have to go through, though?
I don't know. I didn't take their schedule.
They play San Antonio next, and then they play Miami. Those should be 2 L's. Those should really be 2 L's. Who's next? Then they play Orlando as W. Then Brooklyn. Then Cleveland. Then Golden State. Then they go to Minnesota, but after that it's Atlanta. They're not winning 4 out of those 5 games. Houston, they can't beat. Dallas, I don't see them beating. If they beat Dallas, it would be a close game. Portland, they're not beating us again. Not at home. Not at home. They can beat us in their stadium, but that's about it. Their arena. Yeah, I can't see. I can't see anybody else making it. Their schedules are too tough and ours is too light.
We shall see.
All right, but we've been going on for about an hour and 10 minutes now. I think that's gonna do it for this episode. I'll let everybody else say their last few words, and we get up out of here.
Hope you guys enjoyed the show as always. Stay tuned. Subscribe to Jay Will's channel if you want more podcasts.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. And, Same thing the kid said.
All right. If we lose to the Lakers, no podcast next Saturday. No, I'm talking. We'll see you guys next Saturday. Peace.